Hello, and welcome to another segment of Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Miss B, Dr. Bianca, Miss B Lee. I am here to walk with you, talk with you, spend time with you, share with you, relate to you, cry with you, laugh with you, all of those things. We are here to journey together in every aspect that we can that affects our spiritual selves, our mental selves, our emotional selves, even our physical selves, because internal things reflect and manifest on the outside of us. Hello, somebody. All right. Disregard the babies in the background. They are on the other side of the door because, honey, they can be very rambunctious. These are almost 4-month-old puppies, and baby, it's two of them. And I tell you what, y'all not praying hard enough. That's all I got to say about that. Okay. But all is well. They are precious beings. They really, really are. I love them dearly. Okay. So with that being said, we are journeying through my coach, my teacher, my spiritual mother, Iyanla Vanzant's book, Forgiveness, 21 Days to Forgive Everyone for Everything. Yes, it is possible. It starts with a choice, though. It starts with a choice. It starts with transparency. It starts with, honesty. It starts with vulnerability. It starts with a willingness. Hello. You got to be willing. It starts with a trusting. It starts with a desire to let go, a desire to be rid of all of the things that so weighed heavy on us. You know what I mean? Those things that we just can't seem to get past, those things that show up in every dynamic of our lives, i.e. other relationships, our jobs, our push and drive and careers and all of those things. Whether we like to acknowledge it or not, those unresolved, unforgiven things affect us across the board. Okay. So we're here to talk about those things. We're here to rid ourselves of those things so that we can deliver the very best self to ourselves and so that we can actually show up as our very, very best self to the world. Because whether we like to, know it or not, or whether we like to admit it or not, our life is not our own. So we kind of got to be rid of this hate and this bitterness and this anger and this rage and this fear and all of these things that just keep us where we are, which is hindering us, and it becomes a weight. It hinders us from moving forward. Right? Because where we are going, there's so many things that are predestined, that are set there for us to get there, i.e. relationships, resources, favor, money, opportunities, love, joy, peace. It's newness. Evolution, expansion is ahead of us, but we're too busy being chained and linked to what's behind us, okay? Because we don't want to let it go. For whatever the reason, we want to be a victim in our own stories, okay? We want to remain a victim because that's our storyline. We don't get any pity outside of that. We don't get the, oh, I'm sorry, oh, all of that stuff. And that's later for that. It's time to create a new narrative, okay? For those who are coming in right now, you'll hear the puppies on the other side of the door playing, okay? I had to evacuate them from my space, okay? But they are playing. They are less than 4 months old, and baby, okay? They give me a run for my money, okay? But they love to play. They love to play. Alrighty. So I want to give a couple of church announcements. It is Sunday, okay? I want to give you all some announcements here. We have some updates. If you are privy to my social media pages, then you know that we have a cruise, a women's retreat cruise that is coming up in September. It was scheduled for August 17th. It has now been pushed back a month. Why? Because we've had so many women that has inquired about this cruise. And unfortunately, at that time, the due date for the deposit was coming very quickly, and they couldn't, reach that deadline. So our host of this cruise, Miss Natasha Lee and Chakra Bliss University, Chakra Bliss team, they pushed it back a month to allow all of the attendees or the desired attendees to give their deposits at a decent time that works for them. So now the deposits are due May 27th. Okay, May 27th. So those are wonderful, wonderful announcements. And the new date for the cruise is September 24th through September 28th. I love this even better because for several reasons, actually, because it's 1 week before my B-Day. So come on here, turn up with the girl. And then another thing is because she adjusted the time, the date, you all, this cruise has been drastically reduced by hundreds of dollars. Do you hear me? What? Hundreds of dollars. So listen, everything good, bad, ugly, or indifferent works together for our good. Hello, tap your neighbor on the shoulder and say, we like a discount. Hello, somebody. All right. So the trip has been reduced to as low as $350. I'm talking about for your total. Do you hear me? $350, which includes your cruise, that includes your retreat, the materials for the retreat, that includes, the excursions and things like that. Come on here. All of that is included for as little as $350. And that's of course is going to, the price is based on the cabin that you choose. So the cabin for the inner cabins are $350 for the entire trip. And then, you have your ocean view, which I believe is in the 400s or something like that. And then the balcony, which is about $600, I want to say. But still in all, you can't beat that with a stick, okay? And how many of you all need a vacation? Come on here, okay? And you can bring your booze, bring your bays and things like that. It's just that when we're meeting with the women, then you will come with us. And then when we're done, then you retreat back with your boo. I mean, hello, that you can't beat it. You cannot beat it, okay? So, again, we are going to Ensenada, Mexico, and now added Catalina Island. Okay, this is a sacred self-care and divine femininity retreat cruise, okay? Who is this event for? It is for you. All right. The Ensenada Empowerment Retreat Cruise, organized by Chakra Bliss University, is designed for women of all ages, backgrounds, and walks of life who are seeking personal growth, rejuvenation, and meaningful connections with like-minded individuals. Okay. What you'll learn to cultivate self-awareness and mindfulness. Through meditation and reflection, you'll learn to build empowerment and confidence by overcoming self-doubt and setting healthy boundaries. Okay, some of us need to really, really, really learn how to set boundaries and keep those boundaries. Okay, you'll also learn how to stress manage, you know what I mean, or eliminate stress. All right, things will calm. Yes, things calm all the time, such as life, right? But we should not be moving according to the level of stress or the circumstances that come. We should be able to maintain a level of peace, okay? So you'll learn how to stress manage and self-care through techniques to enhance overall well-being. And then you'll learn how to forge meaningful connections with like-minded women, creating a sense of sisterhood and support. And that is one thing that we absolutely need to learn how to do, especially amongst the women, that we can, of course, there needs to be some togetherness when it comes down to the men too, but that's not our thing. That we're gonna let the men talk to the men and love on the men, right? The women, we need to come together and show each other how it's done. Okay, we really, really do, because unfortunately, there's been a stigma that women can't get along. There's been a stigma that, we're always in competition. It's always a hand fight, a cat fight. We always windmilling, all of those things, shade and all of that stuff. No. We are here to debunk all of the stereotypes, all of the myths, because we're here to show that mature women, operative word being mature, can come together, learn from one another, give, share, support, okay, expand on, rely on, depend on, trust, all right? All of those things, we can come together and do those things without any ill will, any maliciousness, any of those things, all right? I love it, I love it, I love it. Join me and the other speakers, okay, on this trip. I am the keynote. I am honored and privileged to be the keynote for this particular retreat, and we're going to be talking about some major things, you all. You do not want to miss it, okay? Again, Again, for as little as $350 for your entire cruise and retreat, up to about, I believe, $650 for your for the larger suites and things like that. Your deposit is only $150 to lock it in. So if you're getting in a cabin and your deposit is $150, you done already paid doggone near half of your trip. Hello, okay? You will only have a balance of $200. Come on here, y'all can't beat that. Okay, y'all can't beat it. We're flying out of California, and that'll be awesome. Okay, again, like I said, they added on Catalina Island, a stop in Catalina Island. Some of you all have never been there. I know me personally, I've never been there. All right. Also, so you know, Chakra Bliss University is looking for volunteers for this particular cruise. Okay, they're looking for volunteers. We have vending tables and things like that, and Chakra Bliss University would like to utilize your hands, your time, and things like that. And you can talk to them about how you can be a part, be a volunteer, and how you can serve and things like that. Okay. Lastly, you want to join Chakra Bliss University on Facebook, the group on Facebook, so that you can be privy to the announcements for the cruise, the upcoming cruise, the announcements for the volunteers, and you can be privy to a lot of other good, juicy information pertaining to us women, queens, goddesses, the divine feminine, all of those things, where they're having something to do with our emotional state, our mental state, our physical self, our sexual selves, all of those things. We can come together and just be good, divine women. Okay. Y'all know I'm here for all of the things. All right. So come and sail away with me. Sail away with me. Okay. On this cruise to Ensenada, Mexico, with a pit stop over in Catalina Island, September 24th through the 28th. That is amazing, you all. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also, one more announcement. We have been greenlit by the state of Georgia. Man, for my nonprofit, my 501c3 nonprofit organization, Beyond the Scenes Community Effort Incorporated, where we are holding hands and connecting hearts all throughout the organization. Okay. Listen, y'all, we have been greenlit to move forward with our project. It is HOME. HOHME, helping open hearts and minds elevate. This is a transitional home for returning citizens. You all, we have gotten the green light from the state of Georgia. And when I tell you, I am absolutely floored, yet pumped and excited about this move. I'm telling you now, not only did we get a green light, but they actually reached out and said that they would like to be a part, and for me to show them and tell them exactly how else they can be of assistance with us, for us, and be a part of this mission. Okay. If you yourself wanted to be a part of our organization and you want to see how you can support, you can definitely do so by joining the mission at www.thebtsawards.com. You will see not only this Beyond the Scenes Community Efforts Incorporated, you'll see that, but you'll also see every single thing that we're doing with regards to the community, how we highlight the community stars, how we celebrate everybody within the community, the dynamics of the community, the residents, the business owners, even some of the law enforcement and the city officials and things like that. We're bridging the gap, bringing the relationships back in, so that the people of the communities are trusting of one another, right? That's what we want. And we're doing things, bringing light and hope to the communities as a whole. Okay. That is, listen, I'm excited. I'm super excited. I've been sitting with it. I got the call about 3 days ago from, if you all, I'm sure y'all are familiar, but from Representative Reverend Raphael Warnock's office. I got the call from his office about green lighting the project. And when I tell you, I am immensely excited. I'm immensely grateful and appreciative, and it's on and popping. So if you want to get in at the ground level, come on in. Let us show you how you can be of some assistance and things like that, and join the mission, join the movement. You don't want to be left behind, because I'm telling you now, we're doing great things. Okay. Not only can you be of service with HOME, but you can also be of service in the other capacities, the other focuses, the other programs that we have, or you could just sow a seed or whatever you want to do. We have food drives, coat drives, toy drives throughout the year. We feed the hungry. We do a community cookout and things like that, where people of the community can just come and just have a good fellowship, a good time, things like that. There's so many things that we have going on throughout the year, and you can be a part of it. Again, the organization is Beyond the Scenes Community Effort Incorporated. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And if you sow anything, trust and believe, you will get a receipt in return, and you can write that off at your annual tax time. Okay. Whew. All right. Church announcements are over. All righty. Here we go. If you all are ready, grab your notebook, grab your pen, get your book, Forgiveness, 21 Days to Forgive Everyone for Everything, and come on in. Okay, as you all know, we're going to be going over some things, but we're also going to be doing some exercises at the end. This is the forgiveness statements that we're going to be writing. We're going to be doing some tapping sequence and things like that. If you're familiar with the book, then you already know what we went through. If you are not familiar with the book, then you should be able to reach out to us and get your book. Okay, to receive your book, to receive the ebook of our reading material. Okay, the ebook of our reading material, inbox us with your email address at any platform. Right now we're airing on YouTube, Twitter, and Clubhouse. Facebook has me in jail. I don't know why, they just do. Okay, so I will be airing just from just Clubhouse, YouTube, and Twitter for the next, I want to say 30 days. But it's all good. It's all good. We're going to see how this works anyway, because I've really been compelled to just go with YouTube anyway, to be perfectly honest, and keep it away from Facebook, because Facebook has so many rules and it's so sensitive over there. My goodness, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I love Facebook for what it is utilized for, but my word, Facebook got some things going on. Okay. All righty. So with that being said, if you need a book, inbox us on any platform, in any dynamic, whether you back channel on Clubhouse, or whether you inbox us or even email us, and we can go from there, and I'll get you your book over to you personally. Okay. All righty, you all, let's dive into day 6. Day six. I forgive God. I forgive God. You all know there are times that we have faced things in life and we wondered, where was God? God, where are you? Where were you? Why did you let this happen to me? I thought you loved me. If you're a God that loves and cares and covers, then why didn't you protect me? Why didn't you protect my mom? Why didn't you protect my baby sister? Why didn't you protect my dad? Why didn't you protect my grandmother? Why did they have to leave here? How did they get beat? How did they get murdered like that? I thought you were God, right? And some of us have some disdain. We have some hurt, some disgust, some rage, some anger, some resentment towards God, all right? And so day 6, we're focusing on, I forgive God. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. In constant communication with God, my mind is listening to the voice of God that is calm, always at rest, and wholly certain. Either God is the mind with which I think, or ego is the mind with which I think. That is an excerpt from Prayer for a Course of Miracles workbook, lesson 49. All right. This is a forgiveness story by Iyanla Vanzant. It is always so much easier to blame someone else rather than accepting responsibility for your experiences. Whether it is a breakdown in a relationship, or a lack of financial substance, or a failure to fulfill a dream or goal, there must be someone to blame. In the realm of human experiences, that includes education, socialization, and religious indoctrination. There are a few instances where we are taught that each individual has the inherent power and responsibility to create the life he or she desires. We create with our thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. We create by repeating the behavior patterns that feel comfortable and familiar, whether or not they are productive. We create by conscious choice, focused activity that moves us toward exactly what we want. Or we create experiences with unconscious choice, activity without focus or intent. And we create our lives by default, accepting whatever shows up and attempting to make it what we want it to be. Whether or not we know what we are creating or how we are creating it, when things do not turn out the way we desire, our human instincts drive us to look for someone to blame. For those who recognize and accept that there is a higher mind, a divine essence, a spiritual presence to life, we look to that energy to support, assist, and provide us with the things we need, want, and desire. Some call this presence God. Others call it spirit. When we get what we want, when our lives reflect the good we desire, we are grateful and trust what we call the spiritual presence. When, on the other hand, we are confronted with difficulty or disappointment, we doubt and blame the spiritual presence. More of us than would ever admit are absolutely pissed off with God for the way things show up or don't show up in our lives. While it may seem irrational or illogical to blame God for our choices, the wrong partner, accepting an unfulfilling job, or spending more money than we earn, many of us do just that. We blame God. We hold God responsible for our mother's meanness, for our daddy's absence, for the supervisor's failure to promote us, for boo-boo's cheating, and for the fact that we just can't seem to get our lives together. If and when things get really bad, we can call to mind the laundry list of things God didn't do, should have done, needs to do, or will never do for a variety of reasons. Many of us are not even consciously aware that we are angry with God. In fact, we believe that such anger is so unthinkable, we won't even entertain it as a possibility. As a result, we cannot heal it. Without acknowledgement, there can be no healing. Whether you consider yourself religious, spiritual, somewhere in between, or nowhere on the continuum, your relationship with your source, creator, or divine essence impacts and affects every relationship in your life, including the relationship you have with yourself. God is love. God is truth. God is power. Whether you call it God or life or spirit, the depth of your connection, reliance, trust, and alignment with something greater than yourself is the primary determinant of how you see and hold yourself within yourself. If you think you don't judge God, you have the wrong idea. If you have a judgment about anyone or anything, you have a judgment about God. I want to say that again. If you think you don't judge God, you have the wrong idea. If you have a judgment about anyone or anything, you have a judgment about God. You cannot judge the creation without judging the creator. Who else would you hold responsible for saving you from a crazed mother, an alcoholic father, a deranged ex-husband, or the IRS? You may not call it God, but when your life goes awry, when a tornado destroys a town, when a child suffers or dies, when your marriage falls to pieces, when you cannot pay your rent, to whom do you look? And what angry judgments come forth? As you move through today's practice, it is absolutely essential that you give yourself permission to be radically honest and acknowledge any anger, disappointment, and judgments. Anything else you are holding about or against God, you may be surprised that once you do this, you'll feel a lot better about yourself. My goodness. That was short but powerful. Ooh, that was good. Okay, here we go. Daily forgiveness process reminders. For a more detailed explanation of the daily forgiveness process guidelines, here we go. Number 1, as per every week, every focus, find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed for at least 30 to 60 minutes. Number 2, still your mind for at least 5 minutes or listen to the stillness meditation. Number 3, read the forgiveness prayer once silently and once aloud. We're going to go along that, read it along that prayer in a little bit, okay? Number 4, scan the emotional triggers list. That's at the very top of the book. If you have the book, then you already have the list, okay? Number 5, write out the 12 forgiveness statements for each day's topic on thinking, judging, and believing in your forgiveness journal for days 1 through 18. Write your forgiveness letters days 19 to 21. So we haven't gotten there yet. We're still at day 6, but still have your pen, have your notebook so that we can write the forgiveness statements. We'll be going over those in a minute. Number 6, perform your pro EFT forgiveness tapping sequences. Number 7, process thoughts and feelings consciously through your forgiveness journal reflections. Number 8, listen to the gratitude meditation on the forgiveness CD. If you have your book, if you have the book directly from her, then you have the CD. If not, then you can listen to any meditative, guided meditation. Or you can reach out to me, and I have one on my site. You can tap the site wherever you see the caption or see the website. Tap it, and you can schedule one with me as well. Number 9, complete the day's practice in quiet reflection or with meditative music. Number 10, be sure to do something good for yourself today. Each focus, I love the fact that she does remind us to be good to self, do good to self, give good to self, okay? You must do that. We must do that. We must do that, okay? All righty, here we go. I forgive myself for judging God. Today's forgiveness practice is about forgiving the judgments, anger, disappointments, hurts, and wounds that may be buried in your subconscious or in your consciousness and are directly toward God. Although the thought of it may be frightening, if you're human, chances are there is something for which you are holding your Creator totally responsible and accountable. Start by considering all the experiences you may have judged as wrong, unfair, unkind, or unloving, whether you were directly involved or not. As always, today's practice is designed to neutralize what is going on within you in order to make space for new and greater possibilities to unfold. If there is a part of you, be it large or small, that is terrified of the possibility of acknowledging this to yourself and to God, just consider this. What exactly is it that you think God doesn't know about you? What exactly is it that you think God doesn't know about you? It is quite possible that because God already knows it, the deeper healing will come when you are ready to admit it to yourself. A prayer of forgiveness. Precious Lord of the universe of life, today I ask for and open myself to receive an outpouring of your mercy and grace. I ask that you open my mind so that I will know the truth. I ask that you open my heart so that I will experience the truth. I ask that you open my eyes so that I will see all of the places within myself and within my life where I have been in doubt, denial, resistance, and avoidance of your presence. Because I know that you do not judge me. I ask you to allow me to feel, see, hear, think about, and know how I have dismissed, diminished, and judged you. Allow me to know and feel my connection to you. Help me to recognize my projections and to look within myself for all that I have cast unto you. Move me beyond any and all shame or blame at their deepest root, and cause so that I will know the joy of being in intimate union with you. Teach me how to forgive you. Remind me that your love your love, my safety and freedom resides. I rest in thee. I let it be, and so it is. Journal work. Here we go. Day 6 journal work. All right. Grab your pen, grab your paper. Now, as always, we do a prefix. So the beginning of each statement is 3 sets of 4. So the beginning of the first set of 4 is going to read, I forgive my mind for thinking. I forgive my mind for thinking. So what you would do is write, I forgive my mind for thinking, and then leave a blank. But you're going to leave a blank, and you're going to leave 4 blanks. You don't have to rewrite the prefix every time unless you want to. But to save time, you want to do, I forgive my mind for thinking, blank, and then next line, draw a blank, next line, draw a blank, next line, draw a blank. Okay? Here's an example. I forgive my mind for thinking that God does not really exist. That's the example. I forgive my mind for thinking that God does not really exist. All right? Now, here's your turn. Fill in the blank. I forgive my mind for thinking God is blank. I forgive my mind for thinking God is blank. Next, I forgive my mind for thinking God is not blank. I forgive my mind for thinking God is not blank. Third sentence, I forgive my mind for thinking God did blank. I forgive my mind for thinking God did blank. And last, I forgive my mind for thinking God did not blank. I forgive my mind for thinking God did not blank. Okay, that is the first set of 4 forgiveness statements. Now we're moving on to the second set of 4. And the second set of 4 has a prefix that starts, I forgive myself for judging. I forgive myself for judging. So once again, you're going to write, I forgive myself for judging, and then a blank. Next line, blank. Next line, blank. Fourth line, blank. Okay. For example, I forgive myself for judging God as weak and mean and unloving for all the horrible things that have happened to me and to the world. Okay. Example, I forgive myself for judging God as weak and mean and unloving for all the horrible things that have happened to me and to the world. That's a real one, y'all. Okay. All righty, here we go. I forgive myself for judging God for blank. Write your answer. I forgive myself for judging God for blank. Next line. I forgive myself for judging God for not blank. I forgive myself for judging God for not blank. Next line. I forgive myself for judging God as responsible for blank. I forgive myself for judging God as responsible for blank. Last statement. I forgive myself for judging God as irresponsible for blank. I forgive myself for judging God as irresponsible for blank. Okay, and now we're going to move forward to the last set of 4 forgiveness statements. This set of 4 will begin with a prefix that says, I forgive myself for believing. I forgive myself for believing. So once again, I forgive myself for believing blank. I forgive myself for believing blank. You're going to do 4 lines of blanks, okay? For example, I forgive myself for believing that God was powerless, cruel, and responsible for all the bad things that have happened to me. I forgive myself for believing that God was powerless, cruel, and responsible for all the bad things that have happened to me. Okay, here we go. I forgive myself for believing God should blank. I forgive myself for believing God should blank. Next statement. I forgive myself for believing God should not blank. I forgive myself for believing God should not blank. Third statement. I forgive myself for believing God has blank. I forgive myself for believing God has blank. And last statement. I forgive myself for believing God has never blanked. I forgive myself for believing God has never blanked. Okay. And then we have our tapping sequence here. Okay. If you have the book, again, we can read here. Review basic tapping sequence guidelines. Okay. Number 1, review each of today's 12 forgiveness statements out loud. The statements that you just finished writing. Review each of them out loud. This will help you identify the specific aspects of the issue that you want to tap on. Okay. Number 2, rate the intensity level of any unforgiveness that you hold about today's topic on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. As you read each statement that you just wrote, rate it from 1 to 10 on the intensity level. 10 being, I am really mad. I am pissed off. I am upset. I am, you know what I mean? And then 1 being, I felt it. I'm kind of over it. I get it now. You know what I mean? 0 being you no longer deal with it at all. You've gotten over it. You're relieved. You have released it. You're free from it and all of those things. Okay. So with each one of these statements, you have to go through the intensity level, 0 to 10, and then write down, be honest with self. Be honest with self. That's the only way that we're going to get through a lot of this forgiveness, this unforgiveness. Be honest. Be transparent. Okay? Because again, just like Iyanla said in the beginning part of this today's focus, do you not think that God already knows? So it's high time that you actually have the conversation with God, right? Instead of ignoring the feelings or acting like they don't exist, because they absolutely do. And it's showing in your life. It's showing in your movements. It's showing in your decision making. It's showing in your finances. It's showing in your relationships. It's showing on your job, with your children, with your mate. It's showing everywhere that you have resentment, disgust, anger, bitterness, rage against God. It's showing. So have the conversation, confront it, and heal and have the conversation. All right. Each statement, you want to put the intensity level and be real with yourself. Okay. Number 3, neutralize all subconscious resistance. Repeat a reversal statement 3 times while tapping continuously on the meridian points. Okay. So what you're going to do with each one of the statements that you wrote, then write a reversal statement, like say, for instance, her examples, I forgive myself for believing that God was powerless, cruel, and responsible for all the bad things that have happened to me. The reversal statement would be, I release myself. I forgive myself. I release myself from thinking or believing that God was not powerless. God is all powerful. God is not cruel. God was not responsible for all the bad things. Okay, the reversal was, it was, I chose those things and I gained the result from it, but I even forgive myself for choosing bad. I forgive myself for not making the right decisions. It's reversing the blame. Okay, it's reversing the blame and being 100% with yourself, right? Okay, and then number 4, focus on the issue you'll be tapping on. Repeat a setup statement 3 times while tapping continuously. So in your meridian points, and you'll see that at the beginning of the book, the different points on your face that can bring consciousness, that will allow you to really, really, really be able to dig and do the therapeutic work on your own. Okay. And then number 5, tap 7 times on each of the 10 meridian points. Again, it's inside of the book. And once again, if you don't have the book, contact me and I'll get the book over to you, okay? And number 6, recheck the intensity level of any unforgiveness that you hold about today's topic. Write the number down. If the level is 8 or higher, when you rate the intensity level on each one of these statements, and your level is 8 or higher, still after you go through the whole reversal process and everything, and it's still you still feel raw about it, go back over it. Repeat the entire sequence. You may not do it today. You might want to do it tomorrow. This is why we allotted 1 week. These are, yes, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, or whatever, continually until day 21, right? But I allotted 1 week per day. Why? Because some of this forgiveness is not easy. Some of this confronting is not easy. It is not easy. We have to really, really, really allow ourselves to feel. And some of us are so out of touch with how we feel. We're out of touch with the truth about how we feel. And so what we do is we ignore it. And we suppress it and suppress it and suppress it. And before you know it, we're going to be bursting at the seams with bitterness and resentment and unforgiveness and all of those, just cold, just being real cold, right? And detached and all of those things. And we don't want that, okay? We don't want that at all. And then lastly, this is a reflection time. After you finish all of the intensity level checking, all of the reverse statements, all of the forgiveness statements, repeating and the tapping and things like that, you want to sit and you want to reflect. You want to reflect. Each day you want to reflect for real to see exactly, man, I didn't realize how much hate I had. I didn't realize I was this cold or this bitter or this angry or this sad. I didn't realize I still held on to these thoughts and things like that. I thought I got over this stuff. All of those things you want to reflect on. Build that relationship with self. Like, seriously, get close with self. This is the longest running relationship that you've ever had in your existence. So if you cannot be honest with self, if you cannot give time to self and really, really, really heal, really focus on what really makes you upset, what really makes you hurt, what really makes you laugh, what really makes you feel loved, what really, 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 really brings you peace and joy and all of those things, what really hurt you, what really, caused you to be resentful, what caused you to be enraged, right? You got to be honest with self. Be honest with self. Allow yourself to feel. You are human. Yes, we are spirit, but you are human too. So you got to give your human self the acknowledgement that it needs, that it requires. You must give your human self the acknowledgement that it requires, okay? So this is what this is. We're getting this, we're acknowledging this stuff, and then we're purging this out of our systems, because in our beings, in our systems, in our beings, in our spirit, our mental, our physical, our sexual, all of those things, those areas of us, it requires them to be rejuvenated and reset and purged and cleansed and flushed out of all old things, so that we can step into our newness and we can truly, truly, truly embark on the things that are destined for us to embark on, and that we're not being held back by unresolved issues. Okay? All right? She has a quote here by Nelson Mandela, and it says, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." That is a fact. That is a fact. That's a good statement right there. Okay? All righty, you all. That is the end of today's session. It was very quick, but it really put you, it's quick, but it was powerful. Okay? And it put you to it made you confront the things that you need to confront. Okay? All righty. So you all, again, be sure to do your work. Be sure to complete the session. Give yourself that. Give yourself permission to go through the process, right? Rid yourself of the things that it's time, you all. It's time to sever ties with unforgiveness. It's time to sever ties with bitterness and anger. It's time to sever ties with unforgiveness. It's time to sever the ties. It is. It truly is. Your future is calling for it. Your present is calling for it. All right? Put it behind you. Put it behind you. Put it behind you. All right? Once again, real quick, get yourself registered for the Ensenada, Mexico cruise. Only $150 to deposit. And get there. I'm telling you, seats are already, tickets are already being sold, okay? The cruise ranging from $350 to $650, okay, depending on the cabin that you want. All right, you'll find all of that information on my website. If you click above me on Clubhouse, welcome. If you click above me on Clubhouse, or if you follow any of my captions, any of my social media platforms, you'll be able to see it anywhere I am. Okay, get more information. All right, you all listen. That's the end of today. That is the end of today. Next week, day 7. Next Sunday, day 7, that focus is I forgive my feelings. Man, oh man, I forgive my feelings. Y'all know some of our feelings have deceived us, okay? Some of our feelings have truly had us out here thinking one thing when it wasn't nowhere near what it was or what we thought it was. All right. People don't see a situation for what it is. They see it from where they are. Okay. And so next week, our focus, day 7, I forgive my feelings. All right. All righty, you all. I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try it. We will see you back here 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Divine Femininity United.